guys, welcome back to my channel. Ricochet with Nuttn But Truck'n out Thunderstruck Transport. Today is part 2 of my top 10 things that all new drivers should have or start working to obtain those things. So if you watched the first one, we were talking about the tire pressure gauge, a good headset, and a good GPS. So those were the top 3. This one here, we should be able to get the rest of them because they're not as long and drawn out as some of those because, well, they're not. So anyway, sit back and let's get the rest of this knocked out. Thanks. All right, guys, my next one here is one that I'm really passionate about. I think it's probably the number 1 safety thing that you can have on the truck, and that is a CB radio. I know it's pretty controversial today because a lot of drivers, today's drivers were never brought up with it. They were brought up with the smartphones. So you have no idea how the communications were prior to smartphones. But the communications with the CB is the only way that you're going to be able to communicate with other drivers. You don't have the cell phone number of everybody driving down the road, but you still have to be able to communicate with those other drivers. It's imperative. Many times I've seen people trying to get a hold of a driver because they had something dragging from their trailer, or they had a tire that was blown that the driver didn't know about. He was causing damage to a rim. He didn't have lights on the back of the trailer, causing a lot of problems, possibly getting rear-ended and killing somebody. The biggest thing out in Pennsylvania, when we had that ice storm about a year or so ago, had a couple hundred cars crashing into each other. When you watch the traffic videos and other dash cam videos of people that submitted all that, you see all these truck drivers just plowing, I mean full speed into cars and trucks that were already crashed on the side of the road. I don't know how many people got killed, but all of the drivers that didn't have a CB or that wasn't taking the job seriously enough and at least had their CB on, especially in inclement weather, you know, I mean, that's really where you need to have your CB on. I mean, you should have it on all the time, but come on, guys, use some common sense. I hope today's drivers have got that, but think about it. You're going down the highway and, you know, you're just barreling down the road and you're not listening to what's going on, and you got all these cars crashed up there. You're not going to be able to stop. So either you're going to die or you're going to kill somebody else, and you're going to have to live with that the rest of your life. So same thing with Dallas. I remember there was a big ice storm in Dallas. They had that. So you need to get yourself a good CB. I recommend the Cobra 29. It's a good starter CB. It's also it's a good CB that has a lot of options, being able to do a lot of work on it. You know, upgrade the power, upgrade the modulation, and all that. Just take it to a CB shop, tell them you want it tuned up. You don't have to know anything about it to do that. Just tell the guy you want it tuned up. You just bought it. But that it is so imperative, guys. And I understand that you may not want to hear people talking on the CB all the time because it interrupts your YouTube watching or interrupts your music. But having the CB on is kind of like living next to a train track. You know, you'll hear the trains for a little bit, but after a while they just disappear. And that's what happens with the CB. But not the important stuff. It's like your subconscious hears what you need to hear. And that's kind of the way it works. You really get used to it, and it's something that you need to get used to, because this is one of, like I said, one of the top 10 most dangerous jobs in the country. It probably, well, maybe not the world, but it definitely is in the country for sure. I don't know. But I've seen so many drivers killed or have killed somebody else because they didn't have the ability to communicate, and that's a part of your job. The CB, they sell it in the truck stops as a tool. Not just sit there for looks, but for you to buy it. So, you know, you need the CB. So take your job seriously. It's like being a carpenter and not buying a hammer. It's just the job doesn't get done well. So I'm very passionate about this. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Just, yeah, learn. Get a CB and learn how to communicate on it. You had to learn how to use your smartphone. You had to learn how to text all the little, you know, LMAOF and BYB. You had to learn all of that stuff because you needed to work on social media. You want to work in trucking? Get a CB and learn how to use it, guys, okay? So that's my next one. Hey guys, number 5 on my list that I think you should have, and this goes with your tire gauge for air pressure, is a tread depth tool as well. This little thing here tells you how much tread you have in 30 seconds. I think this one here also does it in, let's see, 30 seconds in millimeters. Anything under 330 seconds is out of compliant with DOT. 430 seconds, you know, you're in the yellow. And of course, DOT is certainly going to talk to you about it, but you know they'll let you go. But basically, I mean, this one's color coordinated. All you do, it's got a little plunger on the bottom of it, and you just stick this on the tire, push down the plunger in between your tread, and then of course you just read up here as to how thick your tread is. So this kind of goes with your tire pressure gauge. It's a great thing to have, so that'd be one of my next suggestions. Okay guys, number 6, moving right along. Something that you really need to have is a good flashlight. For some reason, I'm a light whore. I've got more lights than I can shake a stick at. I mean, I've got little Nebo keychain lights. It's over 400 lumen. I've got O-light pens with flashlights on it. I've got these little Nebo lights. Nebo and O-light, I think probably, in my opinion, are the best as far as quality goes. They're really big into the prepper world as well. They're just a very well made thing. This little Nebo here, this is the Nebo Micro. This is 400 lumen, and it's got a red light, a green light for night, and it's got 3 or 4 different functions on it. It's USB rechargeable. Hang it on your keychain. You've always got a really good light. But I really think the best thing for you is a headlamp. And again, going to Nebo, you can pick these up at the truck stops, like the Iowa 80, the one I think in Joplin, Missouri has the Nebo brand. You know, any of those big mega truck stops. I like this Nebo. It's just really functional. It's adjustable as far as where you want to go. You can also take this completely off. It's got a magnet on it, so if you're working outside, you need to stick it on somewhere. It's very super bright, also USB rechargeable, but a good headlamp really makes working so much easier because you don't, of course, have to hold the darn thing. So that is one of my must-haves, and I really think Nebo makes a good product. Like I said, O-light makes a good product, but Nebo's a pretty good price. The O-lights, they're expensive, but Nebo makes a really good product that's inexpensive. And of course, you can even go cheaper and go get whatever you can at the Walmart. Those tack lights, I mean, they work fine too, so you don't have to go overboard with anything like that. But if you're really looking for some quality and you want to get something that's really going to last a long time, you know, I recommend something like that. So, all right, moving right along. Let's keep going. All right, so next thing you got to have is item number 7, and that's a few tools. You need to get a hammer. I would recommend a small pry bar, especially at least if you're in a van that's got wooden floors on it, or if you're in flatbed or something like that. Simply because a lot of van loads, or depending on what you're hauling, if you're hauling paper and things like that, they nail 2x4s to the floor up against these paper rolls and things like that to kind of keep them stable. And when they pull it out with forklifts, a lot of times they do that, the nails are still left in the floor, and you need to be able to get those off. If you don't really do that often, I mean, the pry bar, that's just kind of like what I'd like to have. You know, something if you could pick one up cheap, it always can come in handy. If you're running a reefer, I recommend getting a long pry bar that's got a big handle and something long but narrow that'll fit in between the corrugated floor. Because a lot of times pieces of pallets will break off, little pieces of wood, and the forklifts run over to them, jam them down inside there, and there's no way to get them out. So you need a nice long pry bar that's thin enough, you know, about an inch, that you can get in there to get those pieces unstuck in your floor. Also, I would recommend a filter wrench for your fuel filters and your oil filters on the truck. Some companies may not want you to do that at all, and if that's your company's says so, then I guess you don't need to worry about it. But you can save yourself a lot of time sitting out on the side of the highway, either waiting for a tow truck or waiting to get in if you just had maybe a fuel filter collapse on you, or need a new oil filter or something, and you're able, an oil water separator, fuel water separator. If you had the wrench, which is a big wide looking thing about yay big that's got notches on it, that's like for your, the gas or the water separator, which is that clear dome, usually on the passenger side, but in front of the tires. It's got fuel and a filter. You can take that off and always be able to run on down the road without having to worry about it. And a cheap tool set you can get at Walmart, a good socket set with a full set of full wrenches. Usually those socket sets already come with all the different screwdriver tips, so you don't really need extra screwdrivers because it's kind of included in those socket set. Hart is a good brand from Walmart because it has lifetime warranty on them. Of course, anything from Harbor Freight, you can certainly do well there as well. And they got pretty much warranty lifetime on all their stuff too. That's a dangerous store for somebody to go into because I always find so much stuff in there that I want. So, yeah, so a small little tool so that you can fix things on the road without having to deal with the shops or being broke down on the side of the road, and learn a little bit of general maintenance. Learn how to change your filters. Learn how to do just minor maintenance things. I even carry part of my toolkit is a commercial grade tire plug kit, and that way if you get just a nail in the tire, you can pull it out. Put a plug in it, and if you got an an air hose in your truck that you can hook up to your glad hand to fill up your trailer tires, then you can fix your own flats on the side of the road and get moving down the road, because if you ain't moving, you ain't making money. So you can put that in your toolkit as well. A nice heavy duty plug kit for tires. So anyway, yeah, so that's it for number 7 is just a toolkit, some of the tools I recommend and why, and let's keep on going. Only 2 more to go. We're almost done. All right, number 8, just a little bit of cleanliness, and there's really a couple things that go in with this. One is a first aid kit. Something to do with hygiene is kind of what I kind of put it in. It's just a first aid kit. You can pick up complete first aid kits at Walmart in the pharmacy. Some has got some burn cream, some, ointment for small cuts and things like that. And of course, bandages and certain bandages. Just a small first aid kit is certainly a good thing. But to go along with that is some hand cleaner and some rags. If you don't wear your gloves sometimes, you just get out and do your pre-trip, or you're opening a door or something, you just get dirty. Nice bottle of that orange Gojo and a bag of shop rags in your side box help keep your hands clean and sanitary and whatnot. Maybe even those little Clorox disinfectant wipes and little plastic tubs of some disinfectant wipes as well. So that kind of takes care of some first aid and a little bit of hygiene that you're going to need when you get out here, because this is a dirty job, man, that's for sure. So last but not least, all right, number 9. Now there's only 2 more to go, but number 9 is that you'll use this for everything, and that's Velcro. Don't buy the Velcro at the truck stops. You will be raped. Yeah, they will definitely rape you big time for there. Walmart, here's a picture of it at Walmart. You can get it in the craft and sewing section of Walmart, and it's like 4 foot long, 2 inches wide, and you just cut it to whatever length you need. It holds 10 pounds. And Velcro is something that you will always find a use for in your truck. That and 3M, the double-sided 3M tape. I've even got that too. But Velcro, a good box of Velcro will go a long way with things that you need. And last but not least, number 10 is some kind of a knife, a little pocket knife. This one I think was 15 bucks. It's got like a razor blade on it and a regular little knife as well. So, you know, something like that, you're always cutting something, and you know, having a good little knife is certainly worth it. You know, I carry several knives, kind of like my flashlights. This is something I really like. This is by Milwaukee. I think I got this at Lowe's. It's a razor blade knife, and it just uses those angled carpet razors. You know, so I mean, this is really good. It's got a pocket clip. You know, it's got a push button here to, you know, to lock it into place, and it has a screwdriver that actually locks and has a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver on it. You know, and then you just lock it. So this comes in really handy, and the best part about it, right up there, is you got a beer cap remover there. You know, so that'll always come in handy on the road. But you know, a little knife, man, I'm always using this if it's cutting open a bag of food, just something. I mean, I've even used it in the back of the truck to cut the little bands that they put around pallets, or taking off some of the shrink wrap. Don't do that very often in today's society. Used to back in the 80s and 90s. Was always doing something like that. But that's it. Now, guys, those are the top 10 that I think you really need. If there's things that, you know, you like, or that you think that you should need, please put them in the comments. Maybe there's some things that I'm not that I didn't list here, but I've got so much other stuff here. I've been doing this, like I said, 40 years. My truck, I mean, I've got everything in it that I've ever needed. And, you know, I mean, I've even got a actual flush toilet in here, and that was the best. That was the best money bought right there. Was for the toilet. Sits right there on the floor. Doesn't take up much space, but you know, sometimes, you know, you're out in the middle of nowhere, or you're at a shipper or receiver, and they won't let you use the bathrooms, or you're going down the side of the road and there's not a rest area for miles, or if it's in the winter time, or you just wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you need to go somewhere, and, you know, instead of getting all out of bed, getting dressed, walking across the parking lot, it's really nice to have your own chemical porta potty in the truck. I mean, I started off with the buckets and the lids. Those are this actually's got, you know, wastewater and clean water and a little flush and everything else, and uses chemicals. So it's really great. That's probably, yeah, if I was going to save everything, that's probably my most favorite thing on the truck. But you know, there's a lot of stuff out here. So guys, you know, you'll see what you need and you'll use them. But these top 10, I think, are probably pretty much the most essentials. And let me know if there's anything that you think we should add to it. So it's always good. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this and got something out of it. Maybe picked up a couple of things that you didn't think about, and kind of like, oh yeah, better get that. If so, then I did my job. So just want to thank you guys for stopping by. Please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment of some sort. That certainly helps the algorithm. I'm sure you've heard that spiel before. Like, comment, and share. So guys, thanks again for joining me, and we will see you down the road, and drive safe.